All right, what's going on, speculators? Let's fire up the TDG Futures Fanatic Afternoon Power Hour broadcast. It is about 3 minutes late. I'm going to try to start these on time. As soon as you can, if you're watching this stream in real time, if you give me one in the chat for picture, excuse me, jeez, belching to get it started. For picture and sound, that would be great. I'd really appreciate it. I mixed it up a little bit today. I can't believe that I'm adjusting for really useless types of comments. You know, if you don't have something nice to say, you don't have to just get off the stream if you don't like it. But there continues to be comments about coming in and not having trades on. And all I do, folks, is trade what's in front of me. And today, though, thank goodness, we do actually have some opportunities. So I'm in some, and I also chose to move all of the quote-unquote non-funded accounts or anything that's not actually something you get paid on when it's sim live, and then also create this over here. So my Kerpos right now, I know you like to penalize me for being up. Sorry, I'm up $450 already before the stream starts, but I'm just short. I'm short some Dow Jones. Those are sim trades. So let's go over here to this right here. Whoops, yikes, right there. Okay, so we're short the Dow Jones and the Russell. So those are my current positions. And what I'm going to do today is talk about how to look to do this against a ripper, right? So I am in sort of fading positions right here. Now let me come back to over here, and then this screen happens to be the shorts that I have on, shorting the NASDAQ and shorting the S&P. Now, I want to point out this big, honking, massive red bar that you see here. Let me move this here. See this shaded background here? This is the only thing that is not included in my trial. So it's only available for members. I don't sell it separately. It's called the extreme turn. And I have described elsewhere the logic. I'm not gatekeeping or anything. It's just a hybrid indicator that uses RSI, oversold conditions, and an ADX to determine momentum. So we coded that up. And what's happening here is an interesting scenario where it's one of these so good it's bad. In other words, when you see what you're looking for really is single or just a few bars of an extreme turn, which we had over here on the 5-minute. Let me move this over here, okay? So, and let me move that up. Live trade, looking to sell the +2s, 19,437. I don't think we get to 19,437 prior to the close. At the close, we're going to have earnings from, I believe, Google, Alphabet. So that could certainly give us 100 points in either direction. Let me see here. Close this, move this over here. If anyone's watching and the picture and sound's okay, that would be great if you could just give me one in the chat for picture and sound. So today on the stream, I'm not going to go through this entire theory and logic behind this indicator, but what it can do is actually keep you out of strong trending markets if you're looking to fade until such time as the signal comes off. So what's happened right here, if you're seeing this, the shaded area indicating an overbought condition with strong momentum. Again, ADX is neither bullish or bearish. It just simply measures the strength of a particular trend. When this comes off, this is actually becomes your signal, becomes your sell signal. Thank you, everybody. That becomes your sell signal right there when that comes off. By the way, moving quickly over here, we're approaching target on the short on the Dow Jones. I'll be covering it right here at the swing level, which happens to be the +2 level. And then let's see with the NASDAQ, the Russell. Russell's having its first strong day in a while. Russell, I'm going to be looking to exit at 1953.9, but remember, friends don't let friends trade the Russell. All right, back over to here. When this signal comes off is when you might want to look to get into it. Now, how do you know if the next bar is going to open with a signal present? You don't. You just wait for every 30-minute bar. The new bar opens. This was a big up bar. The condition was still present. If we wanted to like look left, you could kind of look at this in real time, right? So here's the sell signal. Now, Did it work? No, because the market continued to go higher. So what do? Do you close it? There's a lot of things you can do with that original signal, right? It's just not working, right? But if you don't happen to be in it, or some people choose to use the extreme turn, they want to actually look for two bars, right? They want to wait for 2 bars. They want to see what happens with that next bar. Did the candle close with the condition present? Great. Okay, now did the candle open with the condition present? If it did, I want to stay out, okay? And then stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out. No shorts, no shorts, no shorts. Okay, here we go. Here's a short. Now, this is why I'm short now, okay? Now, and it looks like if this continues, I could potentially, let me just move this to here, close that. Canceled. And yeah, I'm gonna take one right here.
Order submitted.
Maybe.
Order filled.
There we go. And another down here.
Order submitted.
At the plus one. So these are the targets. But this short was initiated from right here. Okay? Initiated from right here. Any questions about that? And if you're interested in more about this, I have on my my channel over here, I have some ideas, and I've probably done 10 different ideas on this same topic, which is how to pick bottoms without getting sticky fingers. Now, as I've often said, it's a lot easier to be long than it is to be short. So what's great is if you can get, and we've had this over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had extreme turn buy conditions that remain present.
Order filled.
Right? Extreme turn buy conditions that remain present. Okay, so hold on. I do have a number of different things going on here, so let me just trade them up, Buttercup. Ooh, we got one more here.
Order
and that
canceled.
Will be it. That will be it.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, so we're about to hit target here at 236.
Order filled.
There we go. And already out of this. So just since I started the stream, it's down about $300 or $400 in these 2 PA accounts right here. Where are they? Right here. And now have managed to get one to green, and the other one we could get pretty close. So we'll see. We'll see how this happens. We should get a little bounce here at the plus ones on the NASDAQ. Submitted. So I'll look to reshort the move back up to T-line, which is this line right here. All right, but before I finish this point on the higher time frame here, and I've decided to add this to a 5-minute as well. Okay, so I've added this to a 5-minute, and the same thing would hold in a 5-minute, right? So let's just go back. Signal goes on right now at the plus 2s. All right, I want to wait for the next bar to open. It opened, signal still present, no shorts. Signal still present, no shorts. Signal still present, no shorts, no shorts. Okay, you can short right here. Did it work? Nope, it didn't. I mean, it went higher. I don't know how much higher, 78s up to 152s. In the trading room this morning, I was calling for 165s, 19 165s. Anyone know why I was calling for 19 165s in the trade room this morning? Members, if they're watching, will know. What was 19 165s, 170-ish, which is the first area that I took a short? Bueller, anyone? In 1932, anyone? Smooly, raised or lowered tariffs? Anyone? Yeah, so anyhow, the 165s were prior session highs. They were just prior session highs. So we went up to prior session high, put on a signal again, and now this became a single bar. Now, shorting here pretty treacherous. This didn't really work either. But here, condition present comes off, and now we're finding a little bit of we're finding some selling, right? We're finding a little bit of selling. So
order submitted.
Let me take you over here for a moment. Again, I'm going to take one of these dowels off right here that I have in these PA program. I mean, these are the evaluations.
Order submitted.
And I've been told that
Order filled.
by really intelligent chat pros, hey, don't trade anything that's not real.
Order
And
filled.
don't trade anything that's already up. So I'm sorry, I keep making money. I apologize. I'm trying not to. Trying not to. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna go back to there. And we're about to hit target here on the Russell. If you guys want to watch paint dry, it's basically watching this Russell here. So we'll see if we can get to target there. On the Dow, we have already hit target, so I'm going to go back to this swing level right here.
Submitted.
And 40,371 is very unlikely that we see the +2s again today. I watched the other day, and you were talking about the 7-day ATR. I made a table on TradingView that shows that and a percentage of days moves. That's awesome. That's what we have. That's what we have. That's what we use. That's what we use in our trade room. We have a chart. It's not quite as if you created a
order filled.
If you've created what you've created, that's cool. That's way cooler than what we have.
Order filled.
You should put it in the public forum or whatever and give it away to people. That would be
Order
awesome.
Submitted.
Describe the
Order
logic
filled.
to it. So that's really cool. So right here, yeah, if the question are, by the way, folks, my style is a little all over the place. I kind of like it. Try to cover a lot of ground, so I'll be on different charts and different things. The goal is not to follow along or create any voodoo or anything. We're just going to... Anyway, these are VWAP lines, so someone answered that. These are just VWAP lines, and then this is a visible range profile. You can get this for free. The painted area is called the extreme turn indicator, and you get that if you become a member of our group. I don't sell any indicators separately or anything like that, and you don't need it. You could create this on your own. You would just need to. I actually did a video on how to use ChatGPT to code up indicators for TradingView, so it was pretty cool. ChatGPT.
Order filled.
All right, so we got the S&P creeping back up here. I am going to try to get out of some on the next move.
Order submitted.
Let me see here. There we go. So we're long here.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Took a little reversal.
Order submitted.
And we'll see what we can do there.
Order submitted.
Pretty happy. Got these down to, we made $24 in one account, $24 in this account, and 48 in the others. And everything else is looking pretty good. Can I ask Apex to extend their sale through Friday? I got a little pull, and I know everybody over there, but I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I can do that. Tim, you should be able to afford 1 or 2 accounts for $29. If you can't, well, first of all, don't buy 10. Don't buy 5. You don't need it. All right, let's put that up there. All right, they're coming back up. Well, we're coming back up.
Order
in
filled.
the east side.
Order
Let's
filled.
hit that there. Let's hit it here.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
So taking some shorts as we enter the offer
Order
zone.
canceled.
So I've been watching a lot of streams
Order
recently.
filled.
I want to figure out how to make these more compelling. It's not easy to trade and talk on the mic at the same time. Fortunately, I do it all the time in the morning, so I've developed some situational fluency around doing it. I probably won't be doing any kind of giveaways or anything like that. That's not really my style. But one thing I am noticing in a lot of these streams that I watch, including folks that have 2,000 or 3,000 people watching them, is they're talking about these concepts right around where price is. And I get it. Look, if that's helpful, it's almost like a play-by-play for every single tick and every single move. And they'll say things like, this is sweeping and it's rejecting and it's doing this at this and it's doing that at this. If that kind of internal dialogue's going on in your head, I just think it's more complicated than is necessary. What I can do is teach you this really, really simply. I don't really care what's happening all around here. This happens to be the high volume node of this visible range profile, which is right here at 19,250. I have no idea whether it'll go higher or lower off that. And if it starts to go higher, commenting and saying, well, now they swept this level or this happened or whatever, hey, if it helps you and it's cool, whatever. I'm going to tell you it's as simple as just putting this order up here at 19,437. And you could put an order down here at VWAP at 19,041 and just hope for a tape bomb or for something, hope's not a strategy, but that's all that this market is giving you right now. If you were fighting the whole day or looking to buy little narrow pullbacks, for my trading style, we didn't get a pullback decent enough to actually get on this trend on the NASDAQ today. On the S&P, same thing. They just look like mirror images of each other. The S&P sale is just right up here at 55.35s. So it just seems like there's a lot of traders that are out there teaching this concept of having to have a thought about every little tick it takes. You must comment every little tick it makes. Come on. Or the opposite is the chat pros who will come in and say, well, this guy's clearly an idiot since he doesn't have a dome up and some order flow, a bunch of bubbles all over the chart. Hey, I got a bubble right here. I got a bubble right here. I got a bubble right there, baby. There was a block that traded there. So look, it's all for entertainment purposes. Look both ways for crossing the street, don't eat yellow snow, all that good stuff. But if I can help you in any way, I can tell you that you don't need anything to be that complicated, and that every single price tick is random. It's all random. The only way you add probabilities to this is by backtesting things that actually work. And what actually works is that the S&P will spend about a little over 80% of its price action during the New York cash session between two standard deviations. Does that mean that shorting up at 55.40s today has an 80% probability of success? No. It simply just means that price action will take place between those levels.
Order submitted.
Why am I resting in order to sell 55.14? Just a little while ago, about half an hour ago, price stopped there. I don't really care. I don't know why. It's probably a reverse iceberg infused lettuce trade. One thing I can tell you is that shorting an environment like this into the close on a day that Google's going to report earnings, and at where we could have a tape bomb in either direction at any time. We met with China. It was very constructive. China's like, hold my beer. I don't know what you're talking about. We had a funny comment in the trade room this morning. Someone wrote, China be like, new phone, who dis? I mean, these headlines are just absolutely ridiculous, right? But I mentioned on the stream yesterday, it was was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. It all blurs together. One of the wackiest trading sessions I've ever seen. But I'll tell you, being short anything using micros at high probability turning points, I'm not saying anything in the S&P or the NASDAQ right now is a high probability turning point. What's highly probable is that the NASDAQ stays Let me just move these out of the way so I don't even have to worry about them. I'll just move them way up here, okay? I'll just get them way up here. If I was on my own, checking in with my Russell. Didn't work. Let's take a look at this Russell trade for just a moment. Come over here. Okay, so short one Russell. Look at these slopes. Is this anything that you would want to be shorting? Probably not. Okay, see the slope here? See the slope here? But I've been tactically just sort of scalping around it to the short side. Now, why? The real choice here on most of these stock indices today, folks, is to, if you made some money and you did okay and you caught the trend and the pullback was enough for you, or you're already long going into the day or whatever, just take your profits and move on. But since someone was brilliant enough to comment that all I do is come in here and anyway, whatever. I just love it. So even on this screen, I don't know if you can see, bottom right-hand corner, I have the right up here. Here's the day. $469 on a $7,500 account. This is something you guys can all do. I don't know how many of you have $775,000 or $750,000. But many of you might have $7,500. So without all these prop programs, or if you want to learn how to do this, deposit $25,000, $5,000, $7,500 is a little bit better. And watch the style that I'm showing you. Because you can't trade a mini in a $7,500 account. And I don't count day trader margin, right? That's the worst thing that ever happened was AMP and Ninja and all these firms said, hey, we'll show you how to light your money on fire. We're going to let you trade $500 day margins. And then they feel they're responsible when they change them to $1,500 or $1,000 when times get volatile. But back to the Russell here for a moment. This is just good practice for me. I like to practice sometime and show you that you can, same thing on the Dow, right? The Dow, I took my profit. And now you could actually, work orders here and here. Sell that swing high, basically the highs of the day, buy the pullback to the, this would have been in hindsight, a great place to target and reverse, right? There's a nice target and reverse right there. Every little tick, all the stuff it's doing here, the reversal there, the bounce off here, I don't care. It doesn't matter, gang. You don't have to, just find something that's simple. I am trying to do these streams also so that eventually I can figure out the easiest way to explain how easy this is. I did a stream before where I said the overlay that you need to know is what is the percentage of range up until the basically 5:30 or 6:30 a.m. Pacific Coast time candle, how much range took place in the Globex or the overnight, and then as you start trading, how much range relative to the 7-day ATR. And then once you know that, you overlay that on these bands, and you're done. I mean, I also watched a stream today, and I've watched some of these others, and it's just hard. I mean, it just drives me crazy because they're promoting the Apex thing too, and they're saying, I buy 20 and I know that Apex is aware of this, and I guess they just make so much money off the idiots that they're not going to ban some of these guys, or they know it's bad press if the whole thing is just insanity to me. I mean, they're literally teaching that 10 to 20 to 30% pass rates of these accounts is how you do it. You just buy 10 or 20 and you do this and then you do that and you trade like and then you'll get these that are funded and then you do this and I mean, it's just insanity, folks. If you're going to do that or anything like that, let me come back to this. Don't use my code. Don't even watch my stream. Literally. I mean, I've heard recently of a couple people that were paid out several $1 million at Apex. I wouldn't have done it. I would have taken all the heat. All these, other influencers and stuff. They were like, oh, well, they deserved it. And then yes, they game the system the way you can game the system. And you could say, well, if Apex doesn't want that, they shouldn't offer all these accounts at these sizes and this, that, and the other. I get it. There's two ways to look at this.
Order filled.
But this PA, these two PAs right here have $7,500 balances in them, trading no more than 3 micros. I will never blow them up or risk blowing them up or any issues of that kind. I work with them closely to make sure that we can eventually break out this world between all the idiots. And you can argue with me. They think that they're taking advantage of this sort of video game. You know, I'm playing Call of Duty. It's not real war, so I can, okay, I get it. I guess I get it. I don't know. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I don't.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Okay, so I'm going to just take this at the +1s.
Order filled.
And take this at the +1s. These are these short Nazis.
Order filled.
Didn't get a hit at 55.14. And approaching up $500 on the day on the tracking account that's in blue right there. The swing indicator settings are 13 strength, and they're only going to work on these Renko bars because you need tick charts like this to get these swings because you have to print bars like this. So, so the question is, what is the settings for the swings? It's a 13 period. So let me just put that here in the chat. Great question. 13 period. Little quick pitch for my trade room and for prop down right, which is down in the bottom right hand corner. It's all in the description below. It's a free ebook. I think it's the best thing out there, and I've looked at all the other free resources for how to do these prop programs, and generally they're also promoting or trying to eventually get you to buy a course or a member's WAP or something like that. You know, I just learned about that thing the other day. WAP. My marketing guys are like, hey, you know, there's these Lambo idiots out there that they're making $200,000 a month selling $100 a month WAPs. And I was like, what's a WAP? I know what a Whopper is. That was a great malt candy. You guys remember Whoppers? Anyway, I won't be doing a WAP. And the Prop Down Right ebook does not have any upsells or anything. The only thing it upsells to is that you should try out the trade room. 10 days for free. No other upsells in the trade room other than, hey, if you dig it, maybe become a member. All right. Any other, Rod, why do they have the BS stock PDT rule? What's that silliness for? I don't know. I actually think it's not a bad thing in the sense that stock trading is idiotic. What did I just say? The real money guys that make millions of dollars are stock traders. Of course they are. They're also working with true real prop firms. So if you got the money to do that, put $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 with a firm, probably spend 3 to 5 years learning. The legit ones are definitely like SMB Capital and T3 and all those. Yeah, you can put up huge money because you're capitalized enough. And you know what else those guys don't do? They don't trade that many options. You know why they don't trade options? Because why would you have to deal with spread and all the inefficiencies? The reason the Tom Sosnoffs of the world, the greatest options traders of all time, what a joke. The reason those guys trade so many options is so that they can promote multi-leg stuff and generate a lot of commissions. That's why they do that. And then the other thing, the reason they do that is if they get offsides in an options position, they can just hedge it by buying 10,000 or 100,000 shares of stock or shorting 100,000 shares of stock. You can't do that. You can trade options on futures on things like the MES and the MNQ. Please start doing that. I need more liquidity for those markets. And the beautiful thing about options on futures is that they're only deliverable as one of the underlying, not 10 or 100. Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys would like me to stream more on options on futures. Options on futures, which you can do at Interactive Brokers, at StoneX, at a couple other places. It doesn't look, I spent a year and a half of my life trying to figure out whether I could bring options on futures over to any of these prop firms, and it just looks like it's never going to happen, unfortunately. I really think that there's a there. I wanted to do it for funded traders, but guess what I found out? The funded traders at all these firms are just a bunch of gambling idiots at just about every firm. The vast majority of them. They churn heavily. The average time of a PA account at Apex is 4 days, I think. Now, Apex is a little bit of an exception. But the vast majority of traders at all these firms are still pushing it, putting on too much size, and I wouldn't give them a dime of my own capital to trade options. No soup for you. No options for you.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, no trades in here, folks. There's just nothing to do. I'm still short 1 MNQ. All right, so lots of people that do want. All right. Any members of my group will know that I've been promising that. What do we call it? A whip? A work in progress? Not a WAP, a whip. I'm a WAP. All right, I'm going to take a short here. This is aggressive at structure. Order filled. Adding to the short positions that I already have on. Order submitted. These are in non-funded accounts, right? So I still have all these going on. So I'm just going to trade them a little bit. They're off screen. They're not in the thing that's down below. For all you chat pros. You guys know what the term chat pro is? I think it comes mostly from poker streams. All the people behind their keyboards that are commenting on the way people are with the money that are actually on the felt, actually in the heat of battle, how they're handling it. The heat of battle. The best broker for everything is Interactive Brokers. So Interactive Brokers is the best broker for everything. It's the closest hybrid between true institutional and retail. The only downside is I believe the minimum account size is 15 or 25,000, and you should have at least that amount of money if you're going to truly speculate with your own money. If you don't, then you could look at StoneX. You can trade futures options, I believe, at Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab.
Order filled.
All right, NASI heading back up. I am short here in the NASI too as well. So the only order I have there is to sell 19,305s. We have 12 more minutes till market on close. These Apex evaluations, by the way, are $250,000 evaluations. So whatever that is, $7,500. And yeah, I'm trading 2 lots and 3 lots of micros. And I'll pass them doing that.
Order canceled.
Look at the Dow making a little move here near the end of the day to the upside. I'm going to get involved in that. Sell it here.
Order filled.
And then pick a midpoint up here. This is made up. Don't worry about that. Sort of the midpoint on the way up to the 386s. When we get some late day moves like this, we'll often get a push all the way up to the +2s into the close. I mean, we've been bid all day, right? So we've bid all day there. So short. Let me check my Russell too. I believe that is, yeah. So I'm going to cancel this.
Order canceled.
And keep this right up here at the +2s. We've only had 5 touches of the +2s today on the Russell. We touched it here. We touched it again. Okay, this time we went out. So that's 1, 2, 3. And I guess you could almost count that. So 3 or 4 touches. So, but watch, we could often get a push up to that level. I kind of like this view too because I can pick my nose. I got no camera on. So which is the best broker? I answered that, Interactive Brokers. So as I start to do some more more information, more training, teaching, or discussion around futures options, I'll make sure that this is the #1 question that I answer, okay? So why, if it just represents one of the underlying, would you go with a 50 delta or 30 delta or 80 deltas when you can get 100 deltas by just being long or short the underlying? I get it. Well, let me give you an example for today specifically, all right? So let's talk about today, okay? So we're trading 55.10s, about 55.07s, okay? Market's moving higher, market's moving higher. Let's say that I had a short signal here, right? Let's say I had a short signal here. If I short the S&P right here at 55.10s and it starts to go higher, I'm down $5 for every point, right? We all agree on that? We got it? It's 100 deltas, right? And if it comes down, I make $5 for every point. If I had a big significant level and I wanted to potentially have a swing trade or give myself a little bit more flexibility to hold an unprofitable position if it starts to go against me, what could I do? I could sell a call. I could sell a 55.10 call or a 55.20 call, and I would be credited whatever the premium is for that. Let's just say it was 20. It's 20 times the point value, which would be $100. I'd get a $100 credit for that. And what's my only obligation? My only obligation is I know that I'm short at 55.20. So I'll get into this a little bit more. It's a slightly different thing. It's a different way of expressing a trade, giving yourself more flexibility. I happen to do it frequently in the treasury markets. Not only frequently, it's like 90% of my trades. So I just sold a shit ton of ZT puts the other day because I was like, we're pretty extended to the downside. Rates are popping here on the short end of the curve. I had a signal, right? I had a signal. Let me just show you where it was. So right here, okay, this is the 10-year, the ZT on my tracking account where I'm resting in order to buy 193s, right? As the market was coming down here last night, I just started selling puts. Why did I do that? I have a signal. I could go long the ZT, but I just wanted to get paid for this position and it happened to work out. If rates had continued to go higher and this continued to go lower, I'm just long from right here as of Friday. I'm out of these puts. And depending on how you structure things, and if you do things the way I teach in terms of how to look at the underlying first, because that's all that matters. The challenge with options is there's so many people that are caught up in the Greeks and the thetas and all these. Look, there are plenty of ways to trade options and a lot of that stuff, but it's kind of complicated. How about if you just look at the chart of the underlying and go, hey, I want to be long or short here. What type of premium would I be bringing in for expressing that trade in the options markets instead of the underlying? Now, why might today also be why is now, right, a very good time to also consider options? I mentioned this in my room. This is an environment where you want to be heavier in the options, short, and in other words, selling premium, and lighter on the underlying. So why is that? What's happening right now that would want me to sell more puts and sell more calls and trade smaller with the underlying? Right. Higher volatility. I'm getting paid a lot more for expressing that position, right?
Order canceled. Order canceled. Order submitted.
Be interesting to see if we get a ripper in any direction on the market on close. Questions about targets and things on NASDAQ and stuff. It's all dependent on its dynamic. If I get short right here, my target's right here. It's the next line. Technically, you want to get short up here, and your line's there. If price breaks down and we get back inside the middle of the zone, now my target's VWAP. Make your targets dynamic, everybody. Make your targets dynamic, and that way, if your target is dynamic, you can determine what risk you want to take. You can truly do 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 or whatever and not just make it up based on some bullshit structure. I wouldn't say for faster trades it makes sense. I wouldn't say for faster trades. They're pretty illiquid, and I look at them. My holding period is generally 1 to 3 days. Some days I'll do 0 DTE if it's a Friday in the Treasury markets, or a Wednesday before an economic release or something like that. But generally no. I just realized I was on the wrong chart as I was describing stuff. So here you go. When it comes to targets, I was just referring to if you get short right here, your target is down here. If you get short up here, your target is the next line. If you got short on the breakdown, your target would be down here. Let me move this off the screen. I'd be pretty surprised if we don't get a kind of a little bit of a big pop in about 3 minutes, but we'll see. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, and usually does, right?
Order filled.
Remember, right at the close, we have Google's earnings. I don't know if they report almost immediately or if they wait that 10 or 15 minutes. I know Apple always waits a half an hour. It's just the drawings toolbar on the left is just an indicator. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's on my chart. No, it's not. Good question. I'll figure that out in a little bit. All right, we're coming up here to...
Order filled.
So now I'm short in... Oh, look, we got a little bubble. Tiny bubbles. All right, 2 more minutes till market on close.
Order filled. Order canceled.
All right, in these PAs, I am going to just cancel all orders.
Order canceled.
And we'll trade them in. We'll trade them in the evals. And see what kind of close we get.
Order filled.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it over here. So there's I'll just do a 2 lot near the close, and the Russell's ripping too. So we could have a 4 lot on here in just a moment. Into the close. Google's not part of the Dow. You got to be a little aware. Oh, there you go. There's our market on close. Watch us rip higher now here. I'm usually wrong on price direction all the time, so I'm saying we go higher. But maybe I have a 50-50 chance. $50-50 chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
Order filled.
Let's just gracefully exit there and here.
Order submitted.
So you're saying there's a chance. Come on. Go lower. Hope is not a strategy. I challenge you to come in and trade the Dow in a $50,000 account. No more than 3 contracts. $300 to $350 daily risk budget. Keep it a little smaller if you're first learning. See how boring it is there? How hurt can you get there? Some people are like, I've managed to get really hurt on the Dow. If you do it at high probability areas, this is what it'll end up looking like. A $7,500 account that's up $500 today. Balance of the account's $8,300. You guys can do this. You really can. All right, let's come back over here. Some of these trades are working out.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, I'm going to take this right here.
Order filled. Order submitted.
I was wrong about direction for a moment. I'll probably be right. I'm looking for us to go higher. Maybe we can make a strong move to the upside to close it. But I finished all of my funded accounts in the green and the live tracking account there in the green. So added up 400, 100, 100, I don't know, about $1,000, which is all you should really look to do with micros like this. I'm going to try to remember how I got that this bar over here. Let me see. You can move it around. It's pretty cool. You're welcome. Hit the like button. Really appreciate it. It does help the algorithm. And if you have any questions that don't get answered in here or I miss them, then throw them in the comments, and I can answer questions in the comments. It's a lot better use of my time than answering or responding to the snarky ones. I think when we started the stream today, these two PAs right here were down $300 or $400. They're now up. They're green. We'll kind of call it for that. Call it there.
Order filled. Order canceled.
Here we go. We're going to punch through that level there. This has all the looks of a rip your face off close, and everyone who's tried to stay short. So remember, you keep it all under control.
Order canceled.
Plus twos on the full NQ are 19,477. 19,477. Let me cancel
Order
this.
canceled.
And here on the NQ, they're 19,457. Ah, crap. I still have some orders there.
Order filled.
I don't want to be trading those PAs any longer. So, see what we can do there. I'm going to stream Tuesday through Thursday for 1 hour from noon till 1 o'clock. Las Vegas Central Standard Time.
Order filled. Order submitted.
For whatever reason, we're seeing 336s hold. I don't know how much longer. I imagine that a lot of people are covering shorts on these little drops. So we're probably going to have some buying pressure in just a moment here. Remember, it's all random.
Order filled. Order filled.
It's all random. Maybe it is it's a drawing tool. I just didn't see it under my indicators. So let's see if that's the case. Yeah, drawing tool tile. There it is. I was wondering why it wasn't right here. And then you can set whatever drawing tools you want in there. Drawing tool tile. Yeah, I didn't see it in these. I'm going to remove these trade detectors. This is the dumbest thing. I don't do anything with it. Let's remove the trade detector. There we go. We will detect no more trades.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
Here comes the ripper. Remember what I was saying before about commenting on every little tick? Every little tick it makes, it is random. Every little tick it makes. Yeah, if you got that 7-day ATR table, if someone made it, I have mine over here. It's available on NinjaTrader, you just have to jump on my trial, and you can download the whole workspace that you see here for free. The volatility bands will not work if you don't have a paid license, but you can get a paid license really cheap these days. So. If you missed the stream yesterday and were wondering, I did address this issue of the payout denial at Apex as a result of hedging, and we've removed a concern for that for traders that trade micros and trade properly. You also don't have to worry about any kind of DCA, and then if you're doing anything close to what I'm showing, your risk rewards and your risk-adjusted returns are going to be fine. So, where is it? What's more important than mine is others, right? So it's all the other payouts done this way, not wild swings, not huge amounts of money, $1,500, $1,200, realistic.
Order submitted.
All right, there we go. There's
Order
the
filled.
kind of the close, I guess, sort of.
Order filled. Order submitted.
You know they can bust through that 336. Come on. Well, they're going to do it without me. Nah, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to end the stream in just a second, but I'll watch these for another 5 minutes or so. We do have, how fast does Google's earnings come out? Do we know?
Order filled.
Anyone know? Damn it. I gotta turn this off. Shit. That's creating longs over here. All right.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, where's my copier? Turn this off. There we go. All right, that's off there. It's off there. Okay, good. Now I can short here.
Order filled.
Let's see if it comes into price. I would stick around for the Google. Maybe that is Google right there.
Order.
Is that Google?
Order submitted.
I don't know what that is. Maybe that's Google.
Order filled.
Is that all it took was Google? I don't know what that was. That was fun. Looks like it blew up a PA. I can't really tell. No, I think they're all fine. What is this one down? It's down $1,300. Wow, that was fun. Was that Google's earnings? What was that? 5 minutes after the close? Something hit a little early. Something hit a little early. All right, let's go back over to here just for a second, and we'll look at what happened with the. I think Google's already in the market at this point, but here's a. Yeah, one of those accounts blew up. I don't even know how that's possible, but sometimes on that insanity, I'm not sure where the orders were resting. But let's take this Russell off right here.
Order filled.
And I'm going to just close this
Order
too.
filled.
I'll hold
Order
the
canceled.
I'll hold the Russell for a move to maybe 958s.
Order submitted.
Can anyone tell me if Google's earnings did come out? I'm really lucky that I closed those PA things because that's right. Friends don't let friends trade the Russell. So they did come out at right there.
Order filled.
Oh my goodness.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled.
Where's the actual price? Okay, right here. All right, there we go. All right, that was enough fun for today. Stay green, trade like you mean it, everybody. If you hit the like button, I really appreciate it. All the information on the group is down below. Make sure you check out Prop Done Right if you want to know how to do these things properly. We'll be here next Tuesday. Have a great weekend, and if you check out the trial, you can be in our trade room tomorrow at around 8:15 Central Standard Time for our Fun Day Friday. Stay green, trade like you mean it. Thanks for tuning in.